welcome to Shanghai. I'm Chen Xuan.
Hi, I'm Timothy Pope.
Even amid geopolitical uncertainties, another German firm chose to join the Shanghai Auto Show for the first time. Zhang Shixuan finds out more about why they decided to attend.
Each new EV release boasts better batteries, a more powerful onboard computer, and other newer and better features. How a car looks and feels might be a massive factor for buyers, but there is more behind the endless add-ons.
Any technology, for that matter, is safety.
China's been quick to react. An updated mandatory national standard on the safety of electric vehicle batteries in China is set to take effect on July 1st, 2026.
The risk of explosion goes down. That is the product that we have unveiled at the Auto Shanghai.
The German headquartered filtration technology developer is attending Auto Shanghai for the first time.
Oh, there's smoke coming out.
Exactly.
And it's coming through this filter.
Exactly.
From traditional air filtration business to venting units for EV batteries.
What's behind this transition?
The company's taken a big step. And it's this transition that's brought the firm to this show in China now, where it made a global debut of its first smoke removal venting unit for EV batteries.
Where did you conduct this R&D development?
It's all in China. We invested in China for the world, not only China for China, but also in China for the world and made in China.
Hasmi Carl is the president of Transportation Division at Meta Humo. I met her on the second day of her first Auto Shanghai tour. In our talk, she used the word speed a lot.
They challenge us with speed. One of the things is the speed.
It's your first visit to the Shanghai Auto Show.
That's correct. This is now my second trip in this month already. I feel extremely hopeful when you look around. What excites me about the automotive industry, especially the automotive industry in China, is how far ahead and how quick the change is happening.
To start with, Carl took me into a cockpit to show the firm's most traditional businesses.
Fragrance DIY.
Exactly. And
it's like coming out in just several seconds.
Exactly.
On average, around 1 in 5 cars on Chinese roads has one of these air quality management systems from the firm.
This is where you started, filtration.
Exactly.
Business. But we see there is venting unit for EV battery.
That's correct.
What's behind this transition?
If you think about filtration, the core principle of filtration is always separating the useful from the harmful. What it does is that it separates humidity. It generates the right amount of humidity that is required for the battery. Whenever there is a risk of an explosion and there is the battery or one of the cells or the modules is having an issue and smoke is released. So it's extremely important to release the pressure that is built in. That smoke that you release, it's actually harmful gases. So that's where we use our membrane filtration technology.
When did you start to work on these venting units?
One of the first EV models that were ever launched actually had our solutions in there. Our newest product, the development for this product started only in the beginning of this year.
Now it's April.
Exactly.
4 months.
Exactly. So that is also where we keep up to date with the speed of the market. We are in China. There's no telling you how fast the Chinese market is moving. And one critical key for success for us is going to be that we are keeping pace.
Recent years, we've seen price competition among EV makers. How do you view this trend? How are you reacting to that?
It always has to be a balance between the value that you deliver and what is the price that goes hand in hand with it. And I believe that's where we strike a pretty decent balance. And as the technology becomes more competitive, as the technology advances, of course, we will make sure that we are also competitive in the market. I believe only focusing on the price is not the right approach.
What does China mean to your global business?
I believe one of the biggest indicators of our commitment to the market and understanding how being close to the Chinese market is necessary for future. Our president of our passenger car business unit is a Chinese national, and he's steering the global passenger car business from China. So that on the one hand showcases how we are committed to this market and understand the importance. On the other hand, we are also investing in our R&D center. There is the innovation for most of the electric components is actually happening in China with local teams also continuing in the future. Just looking at how important digitalization is becoming in the automotive industry, we will also use China as our future digital hub and the exact percentages will only continue to grow.
Do you find it currently easy to work with Chinese EV makers?
It's a very positive experience to work with Chinese EV players. I think we like to be challenged, and of course they challenge us with speed. They challenge us with thinking 2 steps ahead. And I believe that is an extremely positive thing. That's what we stand for.
While Chinese clients currently make up 30% of the firm's vending unit business, it anticipates that local car makers would take up more market demand than their foreign counterparts in the future.
When you think about the global auto industry, one country almost always comes to mind, and that's Germany. It's home to so many of the world's best-known auto brands. And of course, many of those big-name companies are no strangers to China's automobile market and one of its premier events, the Shanghai Auto Show. Zhang Shixuan spoke with Holger Klein, CEO of ZF Group, to find out how the latest US trade war is affecting the industry. The past 2 years have not been easy for the world's auto industry. Fluctuations in market demand, and more importantly, the ever-evolving tariffs. This year's Shanghai Auto Show is the first since the European Union confirmed an increase in tariffs on Chinese manufactured EVs. And then this year, the United States announced even more tariffs on exports from China. These might be a headache for all the players in the industry. But if you spend any time with the people attending Auto Shanghai, you wouldn't know.
Yeah, it's my pleasure coming home.
What you can often see are the happy notes on the big bosses' faces. Holger Klein, the CEO of auto supplier giant ZF, has even learned some of the local language.
我很榮幸代表財富集團在此與各位領導、同仁和記者朋友們交流。
At least enough to start his speech at Auto Shanghai, where he spoke about the city's place in the auto industry.
At this pivotal moment in time, we gather at the epicenter of automotive transformation amidst a dramatically changing geopolitical landscape. Auto Shanghai was and is important to the entire industry.
How many clients are you planning to talk to during this Shanghai Auto Show?
I didn't count it. Many.
Many?
Yeah? So that's the fun, meeting Lao Pangyo and having good
Congratulations, Holger, Mr. Ke.
This car will be in very good hands, I promise.
Yes, thank you.
NIO, the ET9, has our first steer-by-wire system, and it's the first system, and I say that with a little bit of pride, if you allow me, which has a mass production license in China.
Dr. Klein, welcome to the Shanghai Auto Show.
Thank
Great
you.
to have you with us.
Great being here. And I must say, it's like coming home, and very impressive to see what is shown here.
You've been to the Shanghai Auto Show several times, and it's been a long time since we last talked. Any changes you felt?
Last time we talked was at the last auto show in 2023. Since then, we reopened and built 10 new plants in China, 1 tech center, which tells you, and we invested like billions of euros in China. I would believe that everybody realizes how important speed is, acceleration, innovation, and everybody who wants to be successful in China needs to adapt to the speed, and that's what we are doing. Give you an example. We are bringing latest steering technology, for example, to Chinese customers, and the fastest we did so far was last year, 4 months. 4 months from the discussion with the customer to SOP. This is China speed, if you want.
Currently, the auto industry also seems to be undergoing a reshuffle. A lot of new EV brands have emerged. Many of them are doing well, but some of them are finding it hard to keep their business. How do you view this situation, and what's ZF's strategy?
Look, first of all, I believe this Chinese market is in a way brutal, very competitive. And that's why only the best will stay. And that's why we see it as ZF, as our gym, if you want. Yeah? If you practice in this gym and you get better and better into good shape, you will be able to compete everywhere. Yeah? This is why China, although it's a very competitive market, is so important. And how do you survive in such a market? You need to localize. You need to have the best talent, and you need to bring the latest technology. And on top of all of that, we are the 4th largest automotive global supplier. So, but even us, we would say, let's find the right partners to gain speed and to bring the best to our customers.
This year, a lot is changing in the world. The US is putting more restrictions and tariffs on EU and China. But meanwhile, the EU has relaxed its stance a bit on China's EV exports. So what's your take on that? And what messages do you think these changes are delivering to the automobile industry?
We as a global company, we're strong supporters of multilateralism. Yeah, I mean, open free trade is the best which can happen to let the market play out. Who is the most innovative, who has the best cost competition, etc. Yeah? So that would help us all most. But in fact, we see more and more geopolitical turmoil. I can tell you, I was just a couple of weeks here in Beijing at the China Development Forum, and that was, of course, a big discussion with all the business leaders coming in from everywhere. And I as well have the feeling that there are good discussions on collaboration, cooperation going on, especially between China and the European Union.
Dr. Klein, great to have you with us. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.
Well, if you got a question for us, you can find us on the socials.
We'd love to hear from you as always, and you can find all our content online as well. Join us here on Dragon TV, Monday to Friday too.
Thank you so much for watching and see you next time.
Bye-bye.